Don't do this at home. Guys, tonight I am smoking the 300 Hands from Southern Draw Cigars. First heard about this cigar while I was watching Smoke Night Live from Cigar Dojo. And they had Robert Holt, the co-founder of Southern Draw Cigars, on there. And he kind of told the story of 300 Hands, and I'll probably mess up the story and not to mention bore you with it. But basically, they did a poll of, the employees that they had down in Nicaragua, saying, hey, how could we make your job or your life better? And long story short, they got the response back, we're good, we got a job. But the people in our communities are really suffering right now with the conditions and the unrest in the area and just the underdevelopment of the country as a whole. And so they threw together this project, which donates 25% of all of the sales back to the people of Nicaragua. And I think in order to do that, there was just countless amounts of people who just donated their time, their work, and everything to this project. So a lot of people didn't get paid making this cigar just so they could give it to you for such an affordable price and really do something for the communities of Nicaragua. And I was just really impressed with the story. Just an absolutely incredible story. If you guys follow Cigar Dojo, check their page out on Facebook. You can see the Smoke Night Lives. I can't even remember the date, but you can look it up on southerndrawcigars.com. Check out that story. It's really cool. And without further ado, this being the Maduro version, it has an Esteli grown Maduro wrapper with an Indonesian binder and fillers from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. Appearance-wise, it's a pretty neat looking cigar. Bit of lift on the upper cap at the top. Somewhat toothy in appearance. Just a touch of that lighter colored binder peeking out in the foot underneath that rich looking Maduro wrapper. Kind of a sandpapery feel, not too much oil on it. Definitely a rich barnyard aroma from the wrapper. Okay, let's get a cut. Very tight pre-light draw. Flavor-wise, it's a very just kind of aged tobacco. Touch on the fruity side. That's all I can really tell. All right, let's get lit. This thing starts off really well. Immediately, you can tell that it's Nicaraguan. Starts off, there's kind of the aroma of spice, like a pepper spice, but no flavor of it, just an aroma. On the draw, there's kind of a chestnut and oat flavor. On the finish, a nice dark chocolate. Somewhat short finish. I'm not really tasting anything at the moment, so it definitely finishes out pretty quick. Okay, excellent start. Like I said, the draw is still a little on the tight side. That is kind of how I like it, but it is just a touch too tight. Body-wise, we're in the medium to full range. Here goes. Oh guys, this is just going fantastic so far. Flavor-wise, it's sweetened up a little bit. It's got kind of a, excuse me, kind of a bit of a fruit-like sweetness to it. Kind of like that pre-light draw where I said it was just a touch on the fruity side. Maybe like a cherry or a raisin type fruit sweetness to it. But it's also got a touch of earth on the draw and kind of like a baking spice on the end of the finish. Very slight. But But yeah, as you can see, we're just an excellent burn, excellent looking ash. I'm smoking a little bit too fast. I'm only about 15 minutes into this thing, but it is delicious. So I refuse to stop. And yeah, everything else is going great. So check in here in a little bit. Well guys, nearing the halfway point. The ash literally just fell off. I don't know about you, but last time I've seen a 2-inch ash hold on to a 42 ring gauge cigar was quite some time ago. I have to make an amendment to what I was saying before. I believe the sweetness would be better described as a molasses sweetness. And I'm just having a hard time with these flavors because it seems like it's really complex. And I don't know about you, but as I'm smoking a cigar, not in front of a camera, I'm not sitting here going, now what does this taste like? I'm either enjoying it or I'm not. Well, that's not true. I'm either enjoying it or I'm not enjoying it as much. So then I come back here and I have to try and concentrate really hard on picking out these flavors, and sometimes I'm a little bit lacking. So that being said, the sweetness I think in this would be best described as molasses. There are a lot of different flavors I'm getting out of this cigar. The most prominent are earth, sweet molasses, and charred oak. That's really been prevalent in this second third. I'm going to keep smoking this thing. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, it also has a decent bit of strength to it, kicking up here in that second third as well. Especially if you're smoking it too fast. So keep that in mind. So, I'll check in one more time before I set it down. That's the end of that one, guys. Alright. What a cigar. Okay, so let's see if I can kind of go over this again. It's kind of hard because there's a lot in that stick. Started off, very strong pepper aroma, but not really any flavor. That was the first thing I really noticed. There was some earth on the draw initially. Sweet molasses was there for the first and second third. And that was kind of the overwhelming theme that kind of enveloped everything else. There was some cooking spice on the end of the finish, particularly in the first third. Second third, that was replaced with this really nice charred oak flavor. Final third, very earth predominant, but still just a touch of that sweetness hanging on there, and then a lot of that oak flavor as well. There were some other subtle nuances here and there that I could maybe kind of take a stab at, but I'm not even going to bother because it was fairly complex and it seemed like I was just tasting a lot of different flavors all throughout. So if you're one of those guys that likes a lot of complexity in their cigars, it's probably going to be a good one for you. Overall, quality-wise, consistency, all on point. Perfect burn, excellent ash that held on for 2 inches at the start of the cigar. The draw started off a little tight, it loosened up, and even when it was tight, it wasn't overwhelmingly so, but it's just worth mentioning. Body and strength, it's a medium to full cigar, body-wise, and there is a decent amount of strength to it, particularly, like I said, if you're smoking it too fast, but it was delicious. How could I help myself? Yeah, I think this is just a really impressive cigar from start to finish. If you like the story, it's a super cool story that they have, and it's really great what they're doing for the people in Nicaragua. If you don't care about that, it's just a really good cigar. And they price them really reasonably. They're somewhere in the $5 to $6 range. I think I put that on the screen earlier. And that's realistically a really low price, especially for a boutique cigar like this. These guys from Southern Draw, they're typically priced a little bit higher for those kinds of sticks, just because the production and everything is a lot more expensive. And so yeah, for them to be able to price that stick where people can normally afford them like that is just awesome, especially the quality. I mean, just what an excellent cigar, really. I mean, everything else aside, the price point, the story, everything else aside, just an excellent cigar from start to finish. I enjoyed every bit of it. So I definitely highly recommend it. I also highly recommend that you go and check out that story. I mean, it's just so cool, the things that they're doing for the people down there, just because, you know, it's really easy for us to sit up here. I was just talking to a buddy of mine a second ago and be like, man, where are my cigars that I pre-ordered? I've just been waiting forever, you know, because they're having production problems and stuff like that. There's people down there that are really struggling. And, you know, I just sit here going, where are my cigars? You know, so it's just a cool story that makes you sit back and take a look at something from somebody else's perspective. So I really like that. And yeah, I think one thing I need to mention is that this cigar, there's the Maduro version and also a Habano version of it. They're both produced in the AJ Fernandez factory in Estelí. So I'm not really sure how much of a hand he had in it or whether it was just their blend that he produced. Either way, worth mentioning. I think that's all I got to say. Except, as I always have to mention, that if you're in the mood to buy some cigars, there's a link in the description below that'll take you to Cigar page. And it is the best place to buy cigars on the internet. You can find them there cheaper, and every order ships free no matter how much you spend. Right now, they've got a deal with some 5-packs that are just going for insane, crazy sale. And I think that's going all the way through Thanksgiving. So check that out, guys. Every time you click that link in the description below, it helps me out. I appreciate that. It helps me keep doing what I do here, which is what I love, making videos for you guys. So the 300 Hands Maduro by Southern Draw Cigars. Happy smoking.